Greetings, Petroheads. Welcome back to Automation, the car company Tycoon game. So last time we did a pretty terrible car, 1955 rear-engined V12 GT, which is probably very likely to lead to our company failing, which is exactly what we're trying to achieve anyway. But for now we need to go to one more. I think what we really need is make like a sports car that is based on that uses the same engine as the small city car that we have. The same engine block anyway. Which is what I'm gonna do. This is of course gonna be probably not really that suitable for 1957, but you know, yeah, let's go with, let's make ourselves bankrupt and develop a monocoque for this thing. And then double wishbone front and rear, which is, again, I know it's not realistic, it's not what people did back then. Neither was fiberglass, but like, we are going expensive, we want to do something proper, but it's probably not gonna be able to sell very well. So as far as grills and fixtures go, we can put like this on here. No, I don't like this pattern on this particular body shell. What else? Something just like this. No. Man, what grill do you put on this thing? You know what? You don't put one grill on there, you put two instead. And the second one is gonna be this one, I think. But make everything just slightly bigger and move it up a little bit. Actually, that looks kind of bad as well. Excuse me? And then some indicators right there. This just looks absolutely awful. Let's just make a small, a small one right in the center, but not this one. What grill suits to this freaking body? No. You know what? Maybe this? But we need something in the center for this to work. That is way too big. Man, what grill do we take? This is just absolute, like, desperation. This is, I'm getting desperate. What grill do we put in this car? This is way too modern. No, this is just... wrap this one around the indicators, perhaps. If we're gonna... No, not like that. Just like this, perhaps. And then I think I want to add some of these down here. And then a number plate there. And a badge right here. Not the prettiest 50 sports car, but you know, we gotta be moving on at some point with this video. Door handles. Put these ones on there. Actually, it's the 50s, we don't need side indicators. There we go. In this case, I think I want to make all of them a little bit smaller. In this case being, I can put fixtures further up than this one right here. And what we want is certainly one of these exhausts. Not this big. Like, certainly not that big. Yeah, like that. And, well, this is of course going to be a river drive. What color do we want? Orange or something like that. Something that sticks out of the crowd. And as far as engines go, we have a 1943 block. And let's see, we have this one right here, the 1950 sport version of the 1.2 liter. And we are gonna excuse me? should be locked. Yeah, it is now. Okay. It is still based on the same 1943 four-cylinder block. Like that should tell you about. That should tell you how popular this thing is certainly gonna be. Which means not very. Like it's gonna get criticized for that by car magazines all over the world. Like it's only obvious, and it's like deservedly so. But you know, since the expected quote-unquote big money makers, the big GT cars are not selling very well because just people can't afford them. We don't have money to develop a lot of new engines, or any new engines for that matter. You know what? Oh, why are we running a single pedal eco? There we go. No, this is not very good. That might be better. Or we could go for a DCOE, which I think is actually what we're gonna do. For responsiveness and a bit more power. How far can you go on the revs? It's only a little bit of valve float, not hurting reliability that much. Can also get this a little bit richer, and then increase the compression some more. 53.7 horsepower, 55. Bottom end is not making issues so far. It's only the valve float that's kind of making the reliability slightly worse. We're at 85 ignition timing, which gives us a pretty early peak torque. And 55.6 horsepower is not really, sports car like yet, even for 1957. .6 horsepower, 61 horsepower. I think that's what we're gonna stick with for now. 61 horsepower is still not amazing or anything like that. We're also going to remove one muffler, I think. So I don't think there have been, very many noise restrictions back then, and if actually it's not that loud anyway. But the 69.2, that is quite loud though. Let's leave one muffler on. 4-speed manual transmission. Let's leave the differential open for now. Top speed is going to be somewhere around here, I guess, with a very long fourth gear. Since it is mostly intended for the road though, I'm gonna go with medium compound road tires. Excuse me? Well, a 155 should be okay on this thing. Drums, because, well, we're gonna make some good rhythm, right? Great music is what we should make. I don't think this thing is really gonna be up for the task though. 2 seats, and standard interior, no entertainment, no power steering, and standard safety, and then standard springs, 22 with passive, and then let's start off with a sport setup. We can adjust this as we need it. Oh, actually that's a really good graph. And you know what, we should make this thing, we want to make this this company fail, right? So what we should do is make this thing horribly, like understeer horribly. Not understeer horribly, oversteer horribly. So that it is cheap, so a lot of people are gonna buy it, but it'll be dangerous to drive, so that once the first people buy it, they're gonna notice, oh my god, this thing is actually terrifying, and then nobody's gonna buy it anymore. That's the idea behind doing this. That is what I intend. So market. You can see that the competitiveness went way down just by doing what we just did. Test track, airfield track. The aerodynamic efficiency is actually amazing for 1957. So drivability is not that good now. Actually 31.7 is still not too shabby. The weight is so low. What about the weight distribution? Yeah, it's pretty nose heavy, as to be expected. We also get quite a bit of brake fade, which is also probably not helpful if you want to sell this sports car. Let's go for an automatic locker. This will... What? That made it more drivable? This is supposed to make it less drivable. Why did the automatic locker make it more drivable? I don't understand. I mean, yes, it does reduce the wheel spin by quite a lot. But you see that on open differential it says drivability low, whereas on automatic it says locker it says very low. So just lower it, even though it lowers the wheel spin. What it will effectively do is, like a lock differential makes it so you have more traction off the line, but through corners it's gonna lock both wheels, meaning you will be able to pull big slides. Yes, but that's surely not for everyone. Because for like, if you take this car, yeah, it doesn't have enough power to really get sliding quite a lot. So you know what? We are gonna increase this bore right here and stroke up to 1.3 liter, like that. Now the engine's knocking. 65.7 horsepower. We are gonna increase. You know what? Let's just go all out. 5900 RPM or something, and increase the cam profile by a lot. Let's actually make this engine sporty and not just a little bit, slightly more powerful than the eco version. It's just, there should be a meaningful difference between the two cars, right? And as such, like if the car was already oversteering, now it's gonna be oversteering more. Also, what this will do is make the reliability worse, which again is intended. Might use slightly bigger exhaust. Yeah, 79.5. 80 horsepower. Okay, 80 horsepower is a nice number, and certainly quite a lot up from the 61 that we used to be getting. Was it 66? Can't remember, but drivability is still the same, huh? How is this possible? It's actually higher now. Why is the drivability higher now? Actually, you know what? Let's keep this low so that the engine would occasionally overheat. Which is again totally intended. Fully intended. Yeah, and now let's give this thing the automatic locker. Holy shit, why is the drivability so much higher? Yeah, it does have less wheel spin off the line, but through the corners it should just be way worse. What's the top speed now? Okay, that is... I have clearly no idea how to make this thing worse. I mean, yeah, of course I can just mess with the suspension some more. And that is probably what I'm gonna do. This help both spoilers and drivability? Lower ride height. Also progressive springs. No. Standard springs, I guess. Also what we could do is like reduce the rear tire width, and now we're getting really low into the drivability numbers. 27.3 is certainly not where you wanna be. What about now? Then the automatic locker still gives you drivability. You should get more power out of this engine still. Fuck it, let's make it run a lot richer. And now, because it's not an eco car anyway. 85. $87.4. $87.5. 88, 89, 90. 90.9. 90.8. Well, 90.8. Basically 91 horsepower. Will this give us more power? No. Right. That made it more drivable. Why did this make it more drivable? Way less economical though. Which for such a small car is definitely an argument against it. Let's see how this thing does now. It is slower now around the track, which is exactly what I, try to achieve. What else can we do? We can just make the suspension worse. We can go for hard long life road tires instead. Yeah, that did have an impact on drivability and sportiness. You also will have quite a bit of brake fade, and even more so if we make the panels from steel. Now that will make the car cheaper and also cheaper to produce, but it will make it heavier. So the braking distance is going to be worse, economy is going to be worse, brake fade is going to be increased, acceleration time is worse. Like, lots of things are worse because of this. Probably also the lap time. Yeah, okay. 144.75. I mean, it's probably not that bad for a 1957 1.3 liter sports car, but as you saw, you could do a lot better. So overall, why shouldn't you buy this car? Because the price might attract some customers that think, it's a cheap car, it's going to be reasonably economical or something. No, it isn't. Then the looks and the fact that it makes a decent amount of power for its time will get people thinking, oh, it's going to be relatively fast. But no, it isn't. Also, it's terrible to drive. It oversteers everywhere. It's got lots of brake fade, and it'll overheat occasionally. So overall, I think this is bad enough to make, in conjunction with the GT car that we built last time, I think this is bad enough to make a company fail. And therefore, I think that's gonna be the end of this part of the campaign. Keep in mind that this company will be revived sometime in the 80s, though. 1957 1.3 Sport. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, also showing you how to, ruin a car, how to make a bad car. And leave a like or a comment if you did enjoy. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.